Long ago, when Lord Shiva was dancing in his celebrated fashion called Tandavanartaya, for which he is known as Natraja, Banasura helped Lord Shiva in his dancing by rhythmically beating drums with his 1,000 hands. Being pleased with Banasura, Lord Shiva said,
"Whatever you desire you can have from me because I am very much pleased with you."
Banasura replied,
"My dear Lord, if you please, you can remain in my city just to protect me from the hands of my enemies. Sometimes I feel a great tendency to fight with my arms, and I go out to find a suitable warrior. Unfortunately, everyone flees, knowing my extraordinary power, being baffled at not finding a match. I simply satisfy the itching of my arms by beating them against the mountains. In this way, I tear many great mountains to pieces."
Lord Shiva realized that his benediction had become troublesome for Banasura and addressed him.
"You rascal. You are very eager to fight, but since you have no one to fight with, you are distressed. Although you think that there is no one in the world to oppose you except me, I say that you will eventually find even more a competent person. At that time your days will come to an end, and your flag of victory will no longer fly. Then you will see your false prestige smashed to pieces."
After hearing Lord Shiva's statement, Banasura became very puffed up with his power. He was elated that he would meet someone who would be able to smash him to pieces. Demons misuse their powers by smashing mountains and hurting people, whereas good heroic devotees like Arjuna help people. Banasura had a very beautiful daughter whose name was Usha. When she had attained the age of marriage and was sleeping, she dreamt one night of a very handsome prince, Aniruddha. She had never actually seen him nor heard of him before. She awoke from her dream exclaiming very loudly,
"My dear beloved, where are you?"
Being exposed to her other friends in this way, she became a little embarrassed. One of Usha's friends was Citralekha, who was the daughter of Banasura's prime minister. Citralekha and Usha were intimate friends, and out of great curiosity Citralekha asked,
"My dear beautiful princess, as of yet you are not married to any young boy, nor have you seen any boys until now in your dream. So I am surprised that you are exclaiming like this. Who are you searching after? Who is your suitable match?"
On hearing Citralekha's inquiries, Usha replied,
"My dear friend, in my dream I saw a nice young man who is very, very handsome. His complexion is swarthy, his eyes are just like lotus petals, and he is dressed in yellow garments. His arms are very long, and his general bodily features are so pleasing that any young girl would be attracted. As soon as he disappeared from my dream, I have been thrown into the whirlpool of disappointment. My dear friend, I am very anxious to find this wonderful young man, the desired lord of my heart."
After hearing Usha's words, Citralekha immediately replied,
"I can understand your bereavement, and I assure you that if this boy is within these three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems, I must find him for your satisfaction. If you can identify him from your dream, I shall bring you peace of mind. Now, let me draw some pictures for you to inspect, and as soon as you find the picture of your desired husband, let me know. It doesn't matter where he is. I know the art of bringing him here. So as soon as you identify him, I shall immediately arrange for it."
Citralekha, while talking, began to draw many pictures of the demigods inhabiting the higher planetary systems, as well as many human beings. The statements of Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literature prove definitely that on each and every planet there are living entities of different varieties. Then she drew Lord Krishna and many others. When Usha saw the picture of Pradyumna, she became a little bashful, but when she saw the picture of Aniruddha, she became so bashful that she immediately lowered her head and smiled, having found the man she was seeking. She identified the picture to Citralekha as that of the person who had stolen her heart. Citralekha was a great mystic yogini, and as soon as Usha identified the picture, although neither of them had ever seen him nor knew his name, Citralekha could immediately understand that the picture was of Aniruddha, a grandson of Krishna. That very night, she traveled in outer space, and within a very short time reached the city of Dwaraka. She entered the palace and found Aniruddha sleeping in his bedroom on a very opulent bed. Citralekha, by her mystic power, immediately brought Aniruddha, in that sleeping condition, to the city of Sanadapura so that Usha might see her desired husband. Usha immediately bloomed in happiness, secretly married, and began to enjoy the company of Aniruddha with great satisfaction. The palace in which Usha and Citraleka lived was so well fortified that it was impossible for any male to either enter or see inside. Usha and Aniruddha lived together in the palace, and day after day the love of Usha for Aniruddha grew 4 times upon 4 times. Usha pleased Aniruddha with her valuable dresses, flowers, by his sitting place were other paraphernalia for residential purposes, nice drinks such as milk and sherbet, and nice eatables which could be chewed or swallowed. Usha made Aniruddha forget all other things and was able to draw his attention and love upon her without deviation. In such an atmosphere of love and sweetness, Aniruddha practically forgot himself and could not recall how many days he had been away from his real home. In due course of time, the housekeeper and the watchman of the palace saw that something was going on with Usha. Banasura was shocked. He rushed towards the other palace, where Usha was living. There he saw that Usha and Aniruddha were sitting together and talking. Usha and Aniruddha looked very beautiful together, Aniruddha being the son of Pradyumna, who was Cupid himself. Banasura saw his daughter and Aniruddha as a suitable match, yet for family prestige, he did not like the combination at all. Banasura could not understand who the boy actually was. He appreciated the fact that Usha could not have selected anyone in the 3 worlds more beautiful. Aniruddha's complexion was brilliant and swarthy. He was dressed in yellow garments and had eyes just like lotus petals. His arms were very long, and he had nice, curling, bluish hair. The glaring rays of his glittering earrings and the beautiful smile on his lips were certainly captivating. Still, Banasura was very angry. Aniruddha knew, however, that his would-be father-in-law was not at all pleased and that he was gathering many soldiers in the palace to attack him. Thus, not finding any other weapon, Aniruddha took hold of a big iron rod and stood up before Banasura and his soldiers. He firmly took a posture indicating that if he were attacked, he would strike all of the soldiers down to the ground with the iron rod. Banasura and his company of soldiers saw that the boy was standing before them just like the superintendent of death, with his invincible rod. Now, under the order of Banasura, the soldiers from all sides attempted to capture and arrest him. When they dared to come before him, Aniruddha struck them with a rod, breaking their heads, legs, arms and thighs, and one after another they began to fall to the ground. He killed them just as the leader of a flock of hawks kills barking dogs, one after another. In this way, Aniruddha was able to escape the palace. Banasura knew various arts of fighting, and by the grace of Shiva, he knew how to arrest his opposing enemy by the use of a Nagapasa, snake noose, and so Aniruddha was seized as he came out of the palace. When Usha received the news that her father had arrested Aniruddha, she became overwhelmed with grief and confusion. Tears began to glide down her eyes, and being unable to check herself, she began to cry very loudly. The whole story was disclosed in Dwarka. Lord Krishna and the members of the Yadu dynasty prepared to attack the city of Sanadapura. Wait for the next episode. In the meantime, please read the Krishna Book by Srila Prabhupada. Please don't forget to subscribe. Lord Krishna and Radharani is blessing you all for watching these Krishna conscious stories.